Welcome to 2020 update. What a start to a year it has been. We started with the Middle East tensions, followed by the signing of the Phase 1 trade deal between US and China, followed by the impeachment proceedings in the US Senate, and now the coronavirus scare, which is spreading world over. So for the update today, we'll start with the impact of coronavirus. We'll consider the economies of US as well as for Canada, and then I'll wrap it up with some reminders for this time of the year. So let's start with looking the market returns for January 2020. And if you can see, there's a lot of red and it has coronavirus written all over it. To put this in perspective, to put the impact of this in perspective, we can draw some parallels from 2003 SARS epidemic. Now back then, China was 4% of the world GDP and the S&P was down about 12% at the peak of the epidemic. Now, China is about 16% of the world GDP. And think of it, there are 40 million people in China under lockdown. That's more than the population of Canada. So this is going to take a bite out of the world GDP growth. And so that's something which we have to be very careful about. But as investors, it's periods like this turmoil which present great buying opportunities, and that's what we're keeping an eye on. Now second, if we look at the economies of US, the US consumer remains in great shape, they're optimistic, and the Fed being on the sidelines, I think that the strong jobs growth we've seen in the uptrend in the jobs growth we've seen in the last 6 months in 2019 will likely propel into 2020. If we come home to Canada, we've had a slowdown in Q4, and probably that was one of the inputs that the Bank of Canada considered when they came out with their policy announcement for January. So this is being interpreted as a possibility of a rate cut. The economy is strong, so we're not sure yet. We'll see how this plays out into 2020. And lastly, this is the time of the year when we do some tax planning. Although March 2nd is the contribution deadline for RRSPs, which is still a month away, it's never too late to do some tax planning ahead of time and get your houses in order, or your financial house in order. And you know the number to call, 905-363-5035. With that, thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back in March. Bye for now.